Hello, welcome to this week's episode of the podcast. I'm Sasha and I'm a sophomore. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Rania and I'm a sophomore.
Okay, well, just because of everything that's been happening with the quarantine situation and everything, I thought it would be fitting to talk about like school and just the stresses of it and just stuff that many teenagers are probably facing around the world. So, yeah. I guess something to start us off would be, how would you say that your stress has increased or decreased and the aspects of it now that school is distance learning rather than actually in person?
I would say it's definitely increased because I personally learn better in person where I can communicate with my teachers easily and talk to them and work things through. And online school it's a little bit harder because you can't really raise your hand in the middle of a teacher talking and ask a question, or you can't go up to them after class. So it's kind of like if your teacher doesn't stay on after, like you have to email them, which sometimes doesn't get the answer that you necessarily want. And I feel like a lot of teachers are also giving out more work to like make up for the fact that we're online, which is really increasing my stress level a lot because it's just I'm constantly like from 8:30 in the morning to like 8 p.m. I'm just doing school, and it's just like really overwhelming.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think some teachers don't fully understand that it doesn't matter if they give us classwork or homework, it's all work we're doing at home. So for us it's all homework that we're doing. So whether it's classwork that we haven't done or homework that they've assigned, it's a lot of work that we're sitting on our screens like trying to do. It's just a lot. So yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of added stuff that's added to it.
Yeah, definitely.
What what do you think has been the hardest thing for you in these past like 6 months?
Definitely not being able to see people because I am the biggest people person that I know. Like if quarantine wasn't a thing, I'd be with my friends like every day. Like we'd be hanging out. We'd be like going to get coffee or something. And it's like, and my family's really high risk, so I can't go out. So it's like really hard to go about without seeing my friends. Like we'll FaceTime or like we'll text all the time, but like that's not really the same as like seeing people.
Yeah, just like the little things. Like I used to in last year, like after school ended, I would like go to the library and do homework and just study with a few of my friends at our public library. And even that, even when we were doing school, it's so much easier and it feels like it's so much better to do work when you're with people rather than like by yourself. So I completely agree on that aspect. On
Yeah.
a following note, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, it doesn't seem so much like work when you're doing it with a group of people and like joking around, and then once you take the group of people away, it's just
Yeah.
insane.
Exactly. Okay, if you could ask the school board or district board or anything, like if they could like grant you one wish that would like decrease your stress levels or anxiety in relations to anything school related, what would you ask them to do?
Probably I would ask them to like just think about like I feel like it's different for them because like they're grading our essays or they're looking over our chemistry worksheets or reading our AP Euro notes, and I feel like it's a lot different for them than it is for us because we have 6 classes worth of stuff or 7 classes for some people worth of stuff, and especially like I'm taking honors in AP, so it's very overwhelming. So I'd probably ask them to just like take a look into the student's point of view almost, and like just pause and they don't need to assign homework like to make up for like I get doing homework, but like a lot of it is like stuff to make up. They're like trying to make sure we know it, but at the same time it's like there's 6 classes and all 6 of my classes are constantly assigning homework, and it's just I'd ask them probably to just take a seat in a student's point of view or something.
It just gets so much. Like they'll give us all this work to do and it's great. Another thing is like though they want us to go outside, they want us to enjoy like the outside, especially if we live in California, so it's so pretty outside. But when we're cooped up trying to do all our work, trying to finish all our work, it's hard to enjoy like outside and stuff. I just wish it's also easier on them because I could just imagine how stressful it must be as a teacher to grade this much work. Like maybe we can just both calm it down a
Yeah,
little
it's a
bit.
win-win
I
situation.
know, because I know just like teachers in general, they said they've been feeling really stressed. Like my history teacher this morning was like, I spent like an hour and a half this morning trying to do the Canvas agenda because usually I don't spend that long because now that everything's online, I have to make sure that it's super accessible, which I really appreciate because it's so hard when teachers don't update their like Canvas school page so we know what's like going on. But it must be so hard on their end too that it's just overall a lot of stress on both sides. I mean, I understand that we have to learn everything, but I just wish that there was probably a better way to
Yeah, definitely.
script that out. However, on a happier note, what is something that has made you like happy or something that you could get like a break from in these past like 6 months that have made you like adapt to this new situation?
Um, I think one aspect is more family time, and while that can get a little bit um just a little bit tense sometimes, like especially if you have siblings, I think I've grown a lot closer like, with my grandma because I spent more time. I'm at her house right now, and I think a lot of people are growing closer with their families, or like really like, I don't know what the word is, but like really bonding with their friends. Like I think it really bonds like a group of friends to not being able to see each other too often, and it really just brings people closer, or I mean farther apart, but like in cases of really really good friends it brings people closer, so I'd say that's definitely a positive aspect of all of this.
Yeah, no, definitely. I totally agree because I mean, I think there's a lot of like isolation to the aspect of just staying at home. And for those who don't necessarily have like a lot of people they can reach out to and talk to, it can get really lonely for them. And that could be really like harmful and like stressful to their mental health just because I feel like everyone needs conversations once in a while. But I think it's really good that once you start talking to your friends and your family, you start to get that communication aspect. And while it's obviously better in person, it's great that we can still do it online and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's good. Back to school though, do you have any advice for any incoming freshmen on dealing with like this new aspect of distance learning because it could be classified as pretty stressful to them, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. I would say don't be afraid to email your teachers. Like it's the first 6 weeks of school, and I probably emailed your AP Euro teacher like 8 times. Like, don't be afraid to email your teachers. Like that's what they're there for, is to teach you, and just don't think that you're gonna annoy them. Like I worry that I'm gonna annoy them, but like at the same time, I it really is beneficial, and go to office hours. Those are beneficial, very beneficial.
Yeah,
Beneficial.
definitely. No, yeah, I totally agree because your teachers, like, it may seem like you're annoying, but they're at the end of the day, they want you to do well. And how else are you supposed to, learn if you can't really communicate with them, especially like online? But yeah, no, definitely. Overall, I think this distance learning environment has contributed to a lot of um, added stress in teens, especially. I mean, I can't speak exactly because I'm not a senior, but I know seniors who are also missing that they're missing their senior year in high school, which is really sad. But then they also have to like manage with like college apps and trying to find new places to go and all this stuff. So it's really hard for all these different age groups, and it's hard to manage when no one has ever experienced a lot of this like before. Like I've never had to ever deal with this, but I think as we like go further and further, we learn more about ourselves and the people we can like be close with and trust.
Definitely.
Yeah. So anyways, that was a great talk. I'm glad we had this talk.
Me
Um,
too.
stay tuned for more chats about this. Mental health is a super big issue in our community and around the world, and I think it's really important to have discussions about it. And since school is such a big part of so many kids' life that we know, that I think it's really cool to start talking about it. So thank you.